Alright, I don't know if you guys know this, but I like to write just a little bit. And I write a lot of stories sometimes. So I figured I'm gonna read out those stories to you guys in an epic sort of fashion. I'm gonna try my best. To preface this, I want to say I'm not a good writer by any means, so just try your best to enjoy. I'm gonna do my best to not have any background noise either, so let's see how this goes. Alcast is a land of many unknown wonders and adventures to unfold. The continent is divided up into 3 regions, each ruled by a king. The kings, who are all brothers, fight amongst each other very often in order to gain more land and power. Although they always fight, none have won yet. This being said, a battle is going on right now between 2 of the regions, Artis and Breder. The 3rd region, Turin, is recovering from a massive hurricane that just took place on their coast. Our story begins in one of the towns on that coast, a rather nice beach town named Seagrass Cove. Though this coast was suffering from the effects of this hurricane, this small little beach town seemed unaltered in the slightest. Palm trees, blue skies, houses intact, people were happy and going with the flow. On this lovely beach, we can find our protagonist of this story, Finn. Without a doubt, Finn was the most excited about the sea. It was filled with wonders and mystical creatures the likes of which he had never seen before. Sadly though, he was just a young boy, and traveling out onto that treacherous yet fantastical ocean was not an option he could take at the moment. So for now, he would just play on the beach and watch as the waves crashed down onto the shore. As he was sitting there watching, he felt a whack on the back of his head. "Yo, Finn!" a voice shouted from behind him. Recognizing this voice, Finn turned around with a sort of visible energy. "Aaron! What'd I say about throwing things at me?" Saying this, Finn ran up to his friend and tackled him to the ground. Finn and Aaron had been friends since birth. Their parents were best friends, so they ended up becoming friends from this. Finn, not being the strongest in the world, had a bit of difficulty taking down Aaron. Actually, a lot of difficulty. Finn and Aaron were 2 very different people in looks. Finn being a scrawny, short kid with red hair and these sea green eyes. Aaron, however, was the opposite. Tall, black hair, purple eyes. The 2 lived like brothers, but looked so different you wouldn't even think that they know each other. Alright, I'm sorry. Just get off me," Aaron says, while laughing, pushing Finn off of him. At this point, Aaron stands up and has a wide grin on his face. He would always scheme some sort of plan that he would involve Finn in. This grin of his was Finn's way of knowing something was up. Finn, getting up, looked at Aaron's hand and noticed a set of keys. A very distinct set of keys. Ones that opened up Aaron's family's shed. A shed they weren't allowed in. A shed that had a very distinct set of things that would be perfect for these 2 young boys to get into some trouble. Finn, seeing this, smiles and starts darting towards the shed, Aaron following behind. Eventually the 2 reach it and look at it in awe, knowing there are things in there that could very well cause them to be grounded for the rest of their lives if they touch them. They nod at each other and Aaron opens up the shed. To them, opening up this shed was more excited than anything they had ever seen before. Inside was a boat and various other knickknacks. Finn started searching around while Aaron hopped in the boat, pretending like he knew how to sail. "Hey, you gotta check this out, come over here," Finn said in a hypertone. Aaron got out of the boat and walked over to Finn. He was holding a book with 4 water droplets, each in a corner of the front of the book. In the center of these droplets was the number 9. They looked at each other with visible confusion, but also with excitement. Opening up the book, dust came flying out from the old pages, but there was also this sort of aura, an aura which Finn knew very well. It felt like the sea. Flipping through the pages, one page speaks out to Finn. Not knowing what it says or what any of this means, he reads out the writing on the page. Eth Mrots Horses! Finn says while Aaron stares at him, having absolutely no clue what he just said. But as he says this, they can both feel something. The aura that the book once had has gone away. Or rather, it was moved. It was moved to Finn. They both look at the book and words that were there now read out. The Storm Chaser. As this was all happening, suddenly a storm started forming over this small little beach town. Thinking about it, this town had never experienced a storm before. The boys noticed this, but didn't pay it too much mind. A storm was really strange for them, but they just carried on with what they were doing. They tried their best to ignore the storm outside, but eventually they heard footsteps hurrying fast towards the shed. "You two!" a voice yelled from outside the shed. It was Aaron's father, a young man who had spent his entire life in this town. His whole family had been living here throughout the generations. Storming into the shed, he looks at the boys and looks at the book and immediately knows what had happened. Aaron stole the keys from him at their daily martial arts training, and they had snuck into the shed. Finn read the words in the book and broke the seal which was protecting this town from generation to generation from storms. Now that the seal was broken, the Storm Chaser has been born. It is now Finn's job to go and catch the storms to once again build up the seal that had been broken. And Aaron was going to help.